What's going on, everyone? My name is William Walford here with Keith and Jason here on Truckers
Woo!
Delight as we're doing a review for Star Trek Prodigy. For this episode, it's called Ghost in the Machine. This is the review that we're doing. We're not talking about the 2008 film or the band. We're just talking about this. Okay, so I'm surprised I actually knew that. Well, that's what Google will do for you when you look up pictures of Ghost in the Machine and then other shit comes up. But
Well,
anyway, we have we have a lot to talk about today, and it's the three of us. I don't think we've ever had this combination before, so it should be very interesting because I'm pretty sure we have some interesting stories to tell. But before we do that, we're gonna get through that, as Marie was saying, hit that beautiful bean footage.
so
While
roll
there's
that beautiful bean
Roll
footage.
that.
yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage.
You've never
Okay.
actually seen that commercial, have you? That's great. Roll what? Those aren't beans.
That's not the
It's a-
footage here.
It's my candle. Bath and Body Works.
Light the candle.
Well, that was fun.
Hello.
Hi.
Well,
Okay.
it wouldn't be Star Trek. I'm gonna just start off by saying it wouldn't be Star Trek without a catastrophic holodeck episode.
Sounds like they had a hell of a time, huh?
A hell of a time.
A hell of a time. I didn't know how to say that. Like, woo. Okay, so I got pictures, and Keith, do you want to do the honors?
I guess.
Just
All right.
roll right through it. Just roll right through it.
There. Well, it's pretty easy. This is the 17th episode of season 1 of Prodigy Ghost in the Machine. We join our intrepid crew as they are on. They start from the beginning what they seem like they have found their way out of a neutral zone, and they are attempting to signal the Dauntless by using Morse code and phasers, but doesn't work. The ship's about to be destroyed. Romulans behind them, Federation in front of them. Here they are, stuck in the middle with Murph.
Murph. Just Murph.
And so they end then the simulation, and here they've been trying for days to come up with different ways to come out and get to Starfleet, in which failure after failure. So Gwen finally says, I think we have to give up on the idea of joining Starfleet. And so they all walk out of the holodeck to have ice cream and whipped cream, and they all start to just kind of commiserate with each other. And it turns out that they've come up with this wonderful game of piling it on with the ice cream to eat through the pain. Dal of not being able to join Starfleet, Jankum of having to deal with the fact that he's short, Gwen and all of her daddy issues. And-
Daddy issues?
You think?
Definitely has daddy issues.
So then they all go to retire for the night, right? With Del truly trying to just shut out the world, but there's this strange music playing that won't let him sleep. Gwen sees some feral human that seems to be walking the halls, and Jenkum finds an onion with making a kissy face, which just happens to be one of Rock Talk's friends from her holodeck program that she likes to do, which is like Doc McStuffins, but not. And here they find out that some of the holodeck creatures are loose, but at this point they realize that no, they actually never actually left the holodeck. It took them all 5 minutes, unlike Captain Picard, and then it took them 38 minutes to figure that out. So now,
that's a good point.
so now as they realize they're back in the holodeck, it then transitions into one of Zero's holodeck programs, the Cellar Door Society, where they're in this creepy, fog-covered cliffside with a lighthouse. They go in and find that this is a whole milquetoast mystery program that Zero has been doing, and they find out that their goal is to find the skeleton key. Now, this is after they try saying arts, they try and program, and nothing is working. Just like every other holodeck gone amok episode that we've had, going back to the animated series. So they now decide they have to find this skeleton key. After searching through this library in the lighthouse, they then find that it empties out onto an alley where there's a bunch of Dr. Nooms hanging around, listening to rock music and riding motorcycles. At which that's Jangum's program, where he routinely likes to beat up on this riffraff. And as he does attempt to attack them, he finds out that the holodeck safety protocols are off. So all is not well. But they are still able to defeat this group of Nooms, and then find that one of them has a quite noticeable tattoo of a skeleton key on his chest. But it's not just a skeleton key, but it says the Key Club, at which he disappears and everything goes black and white, and they are now outside the Key Club of this 1940s era club. And they're right, at which point they're like, okay, whose program is this? And it turns out it's Murph's, because Murph likes to go singing in the nightclubs when he gets a chance.
How old is Murph that he's been doing this? It's crazy.
I didn't know he could sing.
Well, yeah, they didn't know he could sing. They didn't know he could even talk. And when Zero goes, or he's just very good at lip syncing. So while they are continuing to look for the skeleton key, and Murph is singing his heart out, Rock Talks and Zero figure it out that there's something not quite right, as if there's something keeping them in the holodeck. Because there's no reason that all of these, specifically the programs that they run, are the ones that are all colliding together. So at which point they try to contact Holographic Janeway, who's outside, who's been trying to get them out, trying to turn the safety protocols back on, and trying to do other things, which caused Del to actually give her his command codes. At this point, they figure out that it actually has been Holographic Janeway behind it the whole time. She's able to open the doors and come in, and she insists that it wasn't her, but they realize that she has been corrupted by the living construct. That when Gwen said we should give up on going to Starfleet, the living construct then took over Janeway and had her reprogram the holodeck so they would remain there, while she could then convince Del to get his command codes, and now the ship is left the neutral zone and is on its way to the Dauntless. Dun dun dun.
And might I say that most of this episode was kind of a waste of time.
I really didn't know where they were going until it. And I get that there are certain reveals that happen at certain times, but I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I thought this was another dragging episode. Like
I had to remind myself that, like, oh, okay, let's just remember that this is actually a kids show, and maybe maybe it's entertaining to see things jumping around on the screen and not actually follow storyline.
Right. This is not. I mean, it's a Star Trek show, but it's not like for us.
But the thing is, they've done so many other shows where they did do that well. So then, like, for them to just throw that out there, you're kind of like, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
I mean, well, it's like the subplot is for veterans, Trek veterans, but the main plot is for children.
Yes, basically. Yeah. And we all knew as soon as he gave up those command codes, I was like, oh, here we go. Shouldn't have did that. I'm not sure why, but we all know shouldn't have did that.
I just have to say, of all the episodes of Prodigy we've had now, and this is 16 episodes, this was the first one where I really noticed the time, because every episode was
Right.
22 minutes, and it was kind of like, that's it? Because we've had so many good episodes where
Oh
they
yeah.
cram so much into those 22 minutes. In this episode, it was kind of like, okay, that was a 5-minute story, and they
No,
stretched it to 22.
no, it was
Mhm.
like a minute and a half story, like
No,
the
I'll give some of the things, like before they realized they were still on the holodeck. That was actually good. That was seeing them hang out together and have ice cream.
Right.
Wondering whatever the heck kind of ice cream that is, but
Yeah. Where's it at? Here we
it's
go.
vanilla with red triangles.
Yeah,
Or
with vanilla
pineapple.
or purple or whatever that is. All I know is
pomegranate.
it's alien mint pineapple.
Okay, we'll go with that.
It almost, in that picture, it almost looks like it's chunks of rock talk.
Ah! that's
could
rock
be.
talk. That's rock talk's dandruff.
Right, he's just sitting there going tink 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 tink. I'm sorry,
Instead of Rocky Road, Rock Talk Road.
Yeah, Rocky Road, Rocky Rock Talk Road. You know, that should be like a. I'm surprised they didn't actually say that. That would have been a good joke. Like,
Hey, now if that comes out, bro, we gotta get our money for that. Ben and
we
Jerry's
definitely
comes
got
out.
to. Yeah, because what if that one person that's watching right now is Aaron again?
Right.
Well, he didn't write this week's episode. Well, he did write part of last week, so it's possible. But
Okay, last week I really did notice the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like I understand that we got to get backstories for character development, but it's like them sitting around a campfire and just telling stories and nothing's happening.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that was kind of another one. Like I feel like they were dragging. I feel like they have an end game of what they want, and they needed like a couple episodes to just work on some things. Actually, it was kind of cool to see some of their backstory.
Yeah,
my opinion. For the last episode, that was more entertaining to see where all that came from. But this was just kind of like, just like filler a little bit. I don't know. You know, I didn't even notice any Easter eggs in the show. I'm sure there were some.
Very few. Very, very few.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's okay to have a backstory. In that regard, they're still one step ahead of Discovery, like in my opinion, in terms of getting backstory and character development. I still don't know half the crew's name on Discovery. Like I don't. Right. I don't. If I try to,
the bridge crew, Bryce.
No, Reese. I don't. No, I know 3 of them. I know 3 of them
that most don't know. So yeah.
Actually, I ain't gonna lie. If I said this like 20 Checkers Delights ago, if I try to identify one of the bridge crew on Discovery, I'm gonna sound racist as hell.
Like, why? You're gonna be like that Asian dude?
Who's that Asian motherfucker right there?
Lieutenant Commander.
Yeah, like I know.
What's his first name? What's his full name? I don't know.
I don't know his full name, and I don't know that other girl that looks like 7 of 9 from Wish. Like I don't know that.
Detmer.
Nelson.
Detmer.
Oh no, Detmer. Oh, I definitely know Kayla Detmer.
Now I know Wishikan because it took me a long. I think it's because the name.
Joanne Wishikan.
Yeah, and I know, of course, we know Michael Burnham. We know Saru. We know.
Well, like I think we talked about this maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. But I wish they started to give you some, at least, character development on Wishikan.
Right.
Something, right?
Yeah. Which they incorporated as part of the story, which I like.
Yeah.
As Marie would say, Deus Ex Wishikan.
Right.
I don't know that android that died randomly.
Ariam.
Well, yeah, they tried to cram it in. They tried to make you know her and then kill her the same episode, which was.
Oh, she was always there. It was just
you didn't know her.
Yeah,
she was always there.
By the way, Reese's first name is Jen.
I didn't know that.
Jen.
G-E-N.
Is it G-I-N or G-E-N?
G-E-N.
I was going to say that's right up.
It could be Gen. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with. I'm thinking
Jen Reese.
Jen Reese.
I did not know that at all. Anyway, Prodigy, what happened on that show?
So basically, it's like I won't say it gets good. Arguably, it's good throughout the whole thing because it's not meant for adults; it's meant for children. But as far as the B plot goes, that's meant for us. It didn't really get good until like the last 5 minutes of the show episode.
Yeah, not even 5 minutes. I don't think.
Well, this is the first episode we had since it came back that did not include any scenes on the Dauntless.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't get any scenes on the Dauntless. They're just there. Right. And they show up, and we know that this is like. Well, actually, okay. So
which sucks. Go ahead first.
Well, so I've been following on Instagram the Starfleet logs that Janeway has been doing, and Manny pointed that out to me. I didn't even know they were making them. So I listened to one today, before I watched this episode, and Janeway called their. It's the closest thing to being on the Dauntless that we were going to get for this episode. Janeway called their names out, well, by name, like all 5 of them. And I was like, okay, so and she's starting to realize that she doesn't know anything about the virus, but she knows that things are not what they seem right now. Kind of
that's where we were left with her last
episode.
But right now, she doesn't know anything because she got Kirk chopped in the neck.
That's right. The diviner.
That's right. That's right.
Put her on the floor.
That's what sucks because you watch the last one and you're like, oh snap, she just got knocked out. Can't wait to see next episode.
If she got knocked out, who's in control of the ship?
They should have showed us this week, but they didn't show us anything.
We could have used a button, just a button of just a quick scene on there. Yeah.
Right.
Either a post-credit scene. I mean, there have been post-credit scenes and we've been missing them. Like there was the post-credit scene on the final episode of Lower Decks that we missed.
I did not know we were doing post-credit scenes now. Like
I don't. That's the thing.
Hell. I thought that was a Marvel thing.
That's the thing that's been pissing me off about the Marvel shows on Disney Plus. Some episodes have post-credits, some episodes don't. So pretty much you have to watch and hope that there's a post-credit scene. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
They're trying to get us to watch it through and through so their algorithm will look good.
They do that in movies too, in Marvel movies. Like some movies have a mid credit scene and
mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
And then some movies only have a mid-credit scene, like Black Panther only had a mid-credit scene, but it didn't have a final post-credit scene. And I'm like, man,
what? Well, the new
one.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
So the second Black Panther has a mid post-credit scene, but it doesn't have a final.
It doesn't have
a very last one. So I mean, the only thing that I can tell you is Disney has already released the poster for Namor, which I kind of hate right now, and I don't care what anyone says. Like you gotta die. I don't give a damn how your story pans out. You gotta go. Like
no, I think that they're gonna end up being allies with the Wakandans.
Man, after what he said at the very end about they're gonna come to us, bitch, I will eat fish tacos right in front of your face. Don't do me. Shit. Man, no, I'm sorry. The minute you threw a water bomb at Queen Mother, you were on my hip. You are on my.
Yeah, they pretty much. First of all, Wakanda was whacked the entire movie. They
could have done so much more. They pulled their punches.
I don't know. They just got whooped at every turn. Whooped. First of all, you don't think they ate fish though?
And why would you take the ship into their territory? Have you not seen Little Mermaid?
Right. I got an idea. Let's go to them.
Yeah, let's go to them. Oh, and
they don't have any ships though. They got aerial ships. They don't have.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, first of all, I didn't know you had a ship, and I could have sworn y'all had an aerial craft, which they used and it got destroyed. But they have other aerial craft.
They didn't use any submarinal craft at all. They have at least one that can at least move. They don't have any that can fight underwater. Like what?
Okay, we are way off from.
We are. Okay. We really are way off topic. Okay, so basically, at the end of Prodigy, we pretty much see the Dauntless right there, and and that's when it really got my attention. And then when I literally screamed at my TV and I said, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
Like I was wanting to see. At least I was wanting to see either Gwen's father like pop up on screen, like or something, and then cut it off. No.
Or like have them dragging Janeway to an airlock or something like that.
Or something where Janeway probably ends up being the real Janeway ends up being on the ship, like on the Prodigy, and I don't know, I wanted something more than just the Dominus being on there, because for all I know, you could still be on the holodeck.
Yeah,
right. You wanted at least a reaction, just like one scene on the bridge where they see that they've come out of the nebula or whatever it is.
Right, because I
neutral zone. But it wasn't just the neutral zone. They were also in like a nebula or something, weren't they?
They were somewhere. They were hiding somewhere, and then they were going.
The Romulans couldn't get them. The Romulans couldn't get them either.
Oh yeah, the Romulans couldn't get them, and like the Romulans, they got their asses whooped the same way the Wakandans did. Like, like all because of a blue blob that reminded you of what's that movie from Robin Williams? Flubber.
Who? Flubber. Oh. Flubber, yeah.
All right, that was green. Well,
it was green, but I'm gonna argue that even though Flubber was created, I think they're the same species.
Okay, let's talk mechanics of the holodeck, of course.
So
they did answer one question I've always had about the holodeck.
What was the question?
Well, when Gwen noticed that how is Zero so far ahead of us when we're still in the same room?
Yes.
And because I think back, like think back to Deep Space Nine, Take Me Out to the Holosuite. Yes. They're in the holodeck, and you know how small those holodecks are. The holosuites are
very small.
Yeah, but that's easy. They're just bending light and got people on treadmills. They're making you see something different than what you're actually seeing. So I think that's easily. I think that's easily like. You explained, but what I'm wondering is, since Zero does not require a treadmill, nor does he require air for flight, and he just moves forward, why does he not hit a wall? That because despite of what they see he's doing, he's feeling him, he's moving forward. So that's what I wonder about.
It's just like. Well, okay, but this creates another question for me. Like, I get if you bring a physical object with you and you throw it at the wall, then it will bounce off. But what Data did in Encounter at Farpoint, he picked up a rock, a holographic rock, and threw it at the wall, and it bounced off. It shouldn't have done that thing.
It should not have. Well, it would have actually.
Yeah, that shouldn't have worked. When he threw his communicator at the wall in Ship in the Bottle, that makes sense because the communicator is real.
Right. Yeah. Right. So what was up with the rock? Like, or is there a difference in holographic dimensions of the wall or not when it comes to having the safety protocols on or off?
Or it could be just a case of
that would be
so much of the room was, vector.
So you think like the rock should have disintegrated and then they just made a?
No, it should have just kept on going.
It should have kept on going.
But the actual, because it was an actual physical thing at this point, so it would have to.
But it wasn't an actual physical thing. It was a holographic rock.
It was a holographic rock.
But holographic rocks are actual physical things because you can touch them.
Yes, but as soon as it hit the wall, as soon as it got close to the wall, it should have.
It should have turned.
It should have turned into right. Okay.
A 2D image.
A 2D image is what it should have. Now to the eye, it would have looked like it's still a rock.
Otherwise, they can't play golf, or they can't play
or play baseball.
Or baseball.
They play baseball because it's like if you hit the baseball, which they did in Take Me Out to the that ball should have hit the wall a long time ago. But it didn't. So.
Yeah, it always weirded me out when you had multiple people in a holodeck or holosuite at the same time, but they're in different places. All right, but where are they?
They're like 10 feet from each other, actually.
Yeah,
They got to be 10. It's like playing VR, like because we're thinking like 2-dimensionally in terms of VR, like right, because you can't move a certain distance, otherwise you're gonna hit the next person, right?
So not only do they have to completely manipulate what you see, they also have to, which it might be easier than completely manipulating what you hear.
Right.
Because if you're really only 5 feet, 10 feet from me, I should be.
But it looks like you're 30. But it looks like right. So they're manipulating. So what the holodeck does is it manipulates all 5 senses for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because think about it like in Deep Space Nine when you have Nog up in the apartment while everyone else is down listening to music, but they're in the same holo suite, and the holo suites aren't that big, but somehow it works. But yeah.
This is a really interesting topic for Techno Check if it was still a thing. But
no, I will say the holodeck on the Protostar is much bigger than the holo suites on Deep Space Nine.
You think so?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yes, but does it need to be?
Well,
I mean, because can we talk about how small? Because I thought that this was going to be small, or maybe that they're just kids because they're never, except for Bakhtat. So I'm thinking that the holodeck is going to be small because the Protostar is roughly the same size as the Defiant. It's a small ship.
It is a small ship. Hold on, let me get the dimensions.
Okay. So I thought that, okay, well, I'll be honest, it didn't matter what I thought because I wasn't thinking about the size of the holodeck, but I was thinking about like how, well, you know what? Gwen did ask that question, like, how are you 10 feet in front of me but this room is this small? Like,
do you know what this is like? This is like somebody from like the 16th century talking about television. And they're like,
right.
But what are you talking about? How are the people in the TV?
How they get the little person in the TV? Yeah.
Like,
how they get the little person in the TV? But how did they get in there?
It's not really the people. It was just sending signals. So the signals are shaped like people? No.
So are they? So do people turn into signals? No, not yet. Not yet.
Doesn't that hurt?
Doesn't that hurt? You say no. That's transported technology. This is a TV. This is a TV. Like it's
or when photos first came around, you know.
I want to know who took the photo of the first camera. That's what I want to know. Have you ever seen that meme? Like, this is the first camera. But it's like, if that's the first camera, then who the hell took the photo?
The second camera.
The second camera.
The second camera. No one saved the first camera.
The second camera.
Oh, yes, well, second camera.
My dad used to ask, who's the person that filmed Armstrong coming off the ladder?
Didn't they have cameras on the ship?
Yeah, the cameras on the side. They have the lander. Well, a reproduction of the lander at Smithsonian, and you see the camera off to the side. But yeah, it does look kind of crazy.
Right.
Okay, they don't seem to have the dimensions of the Protostar on Memory Alpha.
Oh, okay.
But what the hell is it good for? That?
Yeah. So
I gotta say the ambition of what are the diviners people?
The
that one girl are we talking about that one girl that we thought was a Trill?
A sense,
yeah. Oh, no, I just mean like their whole people is just like their plan is like huge.
Yeah. So at this point,
100 people somewhere in time.
Okay. A question. Did they ever actually say, I know they went into detail 2 episodes ago, but I didn't really get it. So I need y'all to translate it for me. How did the Federation inadvertently, because it was clearly something happened and the Federation didn't just open torpedoes at them, but the Federation's presence triggered the end of their world. How did that happen?
Because they made first contact and half of the planet was like yes, first contact, great, aliens, come on down. And the other half were like, get out. No, we don't want you here. Get
Okay.
out.
Okay. Right.
And so you
Right.
had a civil war between the two, and because the two sides, and because of technology being what it was, they destroyed each other.
That ain't got nothing to do with the Federation, though.
Yeah, it's their own fault, but they're blaming
It's
the
their own fault.
Federation.
I can
They're
get
blaming.
it.
They're blaming them hugely.
They're hugely. It's just like, but I can get it if the Federation gave one side some technology they shouldn't have given. Then that was broken the Prime Directive.
Against the Prime Directive.
Right. But they did not break the Prime Directive Keith, did they break the Prime Directive?
They did not play the Prime Directive. They were a society that had space flight.
So they're basically having a whole blame crisis going on that ain't got nothing to do with the Federation. So they go 15 years into the past to try and stop it by destroying the Federation.
They should have got with whatever Romulans were left, which is probably none.
And
Romulans. I'll say this. One of the things, and well, we answered the question, but I'm kind of piggybacking off of this conversation. One of the things in the logs that Janeway said was, ever since they destroyed the Borg, the modern Borg that we know, not the other Borg. Well, the other Borg didn't exist yet at this point.
Super Borg. Well, we don't know if they didn't exist.
Well, no, they were there. They were just like sitting, waiting, like the whole time.
Yeah, that's weird. Let's move on.
Anyway, so that part.
Oh, wow.
So the Borg after Endgame and Voyager, they're pretty much still in shambles. Yeah. And it's been like 10, 15 years later. So that said, Janeway said, ever since we corrupted the collective or destroyed whatever she said in the log, it seems like crime and slavery has gone up in the Delta Quadrant. So... Right.
Yeah, the K's on her everywhere. Yeah,
the K's on her everywhere. So, and not that the Borg wanted them in the first place, but the K's on her everywhere, acting like Hirogen from Wish. Like they're just trying to get everyone. They're trying to get everything. They don't even have an organized society. They're just doing everything they can do to get some money and water.
Just a bunch of money and water. A bunch of tribes. Who are the people? Who are the people in your neighborhood? No. Who are the people? In today's episode, who are the aliens that were in that kept showing up everywhere?
Oh, those were Tellarites.
Those were Tellarites?
Those are Tellarites. They look like pirates.
Dr. Gnome over and over again because that was Jankum. He created a program where he just beat up a bunch of Dr. Gnomes because Dr. Gnome,
So they're not just Tellarites; they were really Dr. Gnomes.
Yes. And it was Jason Alexander voicing every one of them. That if they said something, it was Jason Alexander.
Jason Alexander is really making his mark in Star Trek then.
Well, he was on an episode of Voyager before. So, all right. By the way, to answer the question, the Defiant is 170 meters long, while the Protostar is 311 meters long. So it is almost double the size of the Defiant.
Defiant is small.
Yes.
The Defiant is really small. So you're saying that the Defiant is the size of the nacelle of the Protostar?
Pretty much, yeah.
Maybe half of that.
As far as length, at least.
As far as length, yeah. Okay.
The Defiant is very minimized. It's a bridge. It's a sick bay. It's a couple very small.
It's just what it needs to be. Like
all the quarters are really small. Yeah, we never saw a sick bay on the Defiant, and they did show the mess, and the mess was.
I think they had to convert a room into a sick bay for the Doctor during the war. I think.
The engine room was a closet, pretty much.
Yeah, so it was really the equivalent of a aircraft. That holds all the so because it's so tiny, and that's why I never joined anything because I'm not claustrophobic, but I feel like I would become claustrophobic if I were to stay there for 2 years. No, sorry.
Oh, I would be on a submarine. I could not do a submarine.
Right, exactly.
I would be claustrophobic.
Because it's like you got to. It's like the walls are like right here. and that's
no
where you
sun.
sleep.
The time is crazy. There's no sun.
There's no sun. You got to eat rations. Like it's just like
if the ship breaks, that's it.
If one iota of water gets inside that ship, and you are like 3 miles underwater, you're screwed. You're done.
One torpedo hits it like anywhere, even close to it. That's it. It's not like a battleship where you can hit it and it'll sink after a while, and maybe you can swim around.
No, it's just like you will immediately implode. Like,
well, no. I mean, the submarines are designed with there's chambers that you have the locking doors on. So if there's a breach in one chamber, you should be able to seal it off, and the rest of the submarine should be able to keep going.
That does not make me feel
happier. I mean, you probably ain't wrong. I still feel creeped out. Oh Jesus, I don't know why. How did we get on here? So
we were talking about the size of the ships.
We're talking about the size of the ships. So we know that the Dauntless is, speaking of ships, we know that the original Dauntless was assimilated by the Borg. Okay.
Well, the original Dauntless was not an actual. If it wasn't a Federation,
it wasn't
ship,
actual.
It was the guy faking it
having been a ship. It was an alien ship. So I'm guessing that Janeway designed this ship because where else are you going to get the design schematics from?
The Dauntless was designed by B'Elanna Torres.
What?
Yeah.
How you know that?
It was in one of her logs.
Keith being on shit.
Oh. B'Elanna.
And the Dauntless is 205 meters long. What? The Dauntless is shorter than the Protostar?
No,
it doesn't look that way at all.
Are you sure it's not like 2,000?
It says 205 meters. This is on memory beta.
No, that ship is huge.
Memory beta.
Well, we got to go to memory alpha.
They never show it on screen, so they can't get. It won't say it on memory alpha.
Right. Surprised I don't have a book on it. You know, it's a kids show, so they don't have an actual technical manual for it, probably.
Not yet. They should have an update to the technical manual sometime this year. So, or what they'll do, the Ships of a Line update. Now it would be really nice if we still had the Eagle Moss, but unfortunately, Eagle Moss is no more.
Really? I might want to. I mean, I had Eagle Moss, and they were sending me so many ships. I was like, y'all got to stop sending me these ships. I got the ones I want. I don't have space for this. But there's definitely some ships that I still might have wanted to get. So who's the replacement for Eagle Moss?
Nobody.
So it could be you, dude. What are you doing?
Me?
Later.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't.
I'm still looking for the size of the Dauntless.
I'm telling you, it's saying here.
I believe you. I believe what you're reading. I do. I'm just like I want to see, because you know how like they have ships where you have like the Enterprise Galaxy class and the Sovereign class and the Sea, and they're all like beside each other.
Oh, right. Okay. This is according to the official Starships Collection British magazine that lists the Dauntless, but I believe that was based off the fake Dauntless from Voyager.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, then what was the original Dauntless? The fake Dauntless?
I'm thinking. Well, it says here a Dauntless class starship.
Was so.
Arcturus in the episode Hope and Fear. Suppose your Dauntless.
I don't know. I don't know why this is haunting me.
I don't know.
This is why I don't like pulling information from everywhere.
I'm not pulling it from everywhere. Memory alpha and memory beta are my.
No, we know. I mean, because we know what you're reading. It's just that what I'm trying to contemplate is where I know we believe what you're reading, but as far as who took the time to put that information in that thing in the first place.
Issue 17 of the official Starships Collection magazine. NX01A and and that was based off of the fake Dauntless, not the real Dauntless.
Okay. Hello to the 4 people that are watching. How are you
doing? 4 people. Wow. More
I
people
know.
watching that on the show. That's
more people watching. That's like freaking cool. Like, right? Like, comment
man,
below, like where you're from, or if you watch Star Trek.
You don't put your
do.
cards like that. Keep the Federation out your mouth.
I want to know who said that. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it says Facebook user. We don't know who said it. So
well, it's someone that commented on either Trekker's Delight, mine, or Jason's shared video that we shared on Facebook. So it was on one of our comments. I want to know who it is.
Let me check mine.
It's probably Marco with his crazy ass.
No, Marco signs in. We can see Marco's name when he comments.
We can see it. You're right. Okay. Who? Let me see. Because I want to know who it is.
It's not mine.
It's not mine either. So it's on Trekker's Delight. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Here we go. Okay. All right. I don't. Oh my God, I don't see it. Okay, it's not on Trekker's Delight, so maybe it's on Jermaine's. So.
Oh yeah, Jermaine's got
it. Because I put it to go to his too. Like I'm really taking the time during the podcast to. Don't worry, the last 10 minutes I got a story for you guys. Don't worry. Let's see.
Yeah, we get on here and just look. We get on here and just look up shit.
I don't see it. I don't see the comment. It's driving me nuts. Oh my God! Now I'm not gonna know who it is. This is stupid.
Everything drives you nuts. So you need finality in your life, don't you?
Hey, this weekend a couple of girls drove me nuts.
Drove them nuts.
Oh my God, they were so crazy. They would not. This sounds cocky and conceited, but they would not keep their hands off of me. They wouldn't.
I hope you enjoy your first young life as a hetero. You
can't even say it. You can't even say it.
I always say to be wrong. I don't want to say
heterosexual
because that wouldn't be 100% true.
No, I'm like a transitioning bisexual. That's like it's just like being gay for 28 years and then someone activates a gene and William he didn't know he had. Like,
or you just coming to terms to what you always were, you never really.
Okay, that can be. You know what?
Hey, wear your raincoat. Like my grandmama told me, wear your raincoat.
So ever since I let out, okay, we're here now, so we're just gonna talk about it. Okay. So ever since I let out that I kissed a girl, and I knew how everyone was gonna react. So really, this is an experiment for William. So ever since I let that out, half of my friends and family thought I slept with this girl. And I said, no, I just kissed her.
I didn't assume that.
Well, of course, but it's just like, so at work, they were like, yo, Will, did you take her home? And I'm like, why is your first thought that I took her home? That's what you would do. I'm new to this shit. Okay. Like you gotta pretend like I'm a child. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so anyway, I was on stage and it I was actually wearing this shirt. It's a Bad Bunny shirt. And
you will have to take that off and wash it and wear other shirts at some point. Like, I'm never taking off this shirt. Never taking off this shirt.
So I'm wearing this shirt and I got the camera and everything. I'm the photographer, the videographer of this Bad Bunny DJ rave event that has over 2,000 people in this house. Okay. Not house, but like in this arena type area, with the stage and everything. So I'm on stage and they're like, take my picture. Woo. And I'm like, yeah. And then a couple of them were actually like really catcalling me. Like, and I'm just like, okay. And unfortunately it wasn't an attractive guy. So I was just like, okay, who the hell is calling me? And I see like 3 or 4 girls lined up, which is probably every straight guy's fantasy, is lined up and they're all giving me this look. Like this really seductive type of look.
It's like being at an Adam Lambert concert.
Yeah. So it's just like they're just like, and I'm just like, I'm looking left and right because I'm going like, not this gay motherfucker. And now at this point, to be fair to them, they don't even know that I was gay. They had no idea, no clue, none. Like, it's just like when I'm at work, I don't really show any part of my sexuality whatsoever because I'm on clock. So anyway, I get there, and I'm eating a Star Trek comic while I tell this story.
Right, this dude's like,
he said, "Go
like,
on, go on."
oh,
He's like,
he wants to get back to it.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get back to it. You know what? I'm gonna plow through this. Okay, well, not literally. I didn't plow through anything that night. Please don't. I knew Jason was gonna make a joke out of that. So anyway, right. So I get there. I get to the front of the stage. Now, mind you, where this was happening was the forefront of the stage, which was to them the front of the. They were like, it's almost like they were like VIPs because they were right there, like right there. And so they reached their hand out, and I was just like, "Yo, what's up?" And they're like, "Oh my God, touch me," like some Beyonce type of shit. And they're just like, "Oh my God." And so I touched their hand, and they're like, "Ah!" And I'm just like, "Y'all freaked out over me touching your hand?" And it was like in a good way. It's like a good, positive way. God, it's like he's reading the newspaper. And so after that, she takes my hand and kisses it. Then the next girl takes my hand and kisses it. And then I'm not giving them my hand. They took it. And like they took the took, okay? And they're just like, and I'm just like,
I'm laughing at
Keith.
Chauvin.
And so I said to this girl, "Bitch, I'm not Jesus." He kissed my hand for her, damn. And then so the other girl took my hand back and she licked it. She licked my hand. And I said to myself in my head to her, the only reason I didn't slap the shit out of you is because you look like you don't stink. And so
looks could be deceiving in that regard. I will let you know.
And so I'm just like, okay, you know what? The music is hype. It's 11 at night. We gotta keep things rolling. So I kiss her hand. I kiss the next girl's hand. I kiss the next girl's hand. And to give them all a decent hint, I take the next guy's hand and I kiss his. They scream even more. Oh my God. And I'm just like, God damn. And so they said, come here. Let's take a selfie video. And I was like, sorry, fuck it. So let's go. So I go down there and we take a selfie video. And that's when I feel like 6 hands. It's kind of creepy, but like probably, again, this is someone else's fantasy that I'm probably living at this point. And there's like hands here, hands on my butt, hands on my legs, hands on through my hair, like through my arms and everything. And I'm just, someone really took the initiative to grab my butt, like really took that initiative. And so I said, screw it. So I turned around and I kissed her.
Should have made a song.
Right. And so she was surprised that I kissed her. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. And then she took my hand and she said, you have nothing to apologize for. And I said, cool. And then I get back on stage and I take pictures and videos the rest of the night. That's what happened.
You made yourself Mr. Popularity. Girls like that.
They didn't know me from Adam, but apparently William was a new celebrity that night.
If it works for the first 2 and the other girls see it, then it's going to work for the next 4 or 5.
Well, if you look real close at my videos that I post, you will see the girl that I kissed multiple times. In fact, she grabs my hand and holds it next to hers.
If it doesn't work by girl 2, you're going to have a problem on your hands.
Well, it worked. It worked with all 4 girls and the 5th and the guy on the 5th one. So.
Oh, by the way, it was Manny on Jermaine's.
That was Manny on Jermaine's. Okay.
Well, keep the Federation.
Manny, what are you doing awake? Go back to sleep.
Did we even mention the Federation?
We did.
We were talking about the Vonnegut and why they started their civil war, how they blamed all the Federation.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything the Federation that Starfleet doesn't own as well, like as far as responsibility?
The Federation does a good job at screwing stuff up and ignoring it, which I'm glad that with these last few 5 Star Trek shows, they've shown the flaws in the Federation, not just politically, but just like morally. They're kind of screwed up.
Well, they're doing that in the comics too. They just started the Resurgence comic line that deals with a follow-up of an episode of The Next Generation, and it's supposed to lead into a video game.
A video game?
Remember the episode? Yeah. Do you remember the episode of Next Generation where they were dealing with a warlike race, and there was a human boy that was taken as adopted son.
Oh yeah, that annoying kid that kept doing.
Yeah. So
I
the
wanted
video,
to slap the shit out of him.
So now
I'm
it's
sorry,
20 years later, and you have the USS Resurgence is now set to deal with these people, and they're because Leia Brahms has gone missing somewhere in their space.
Oh, Brahms is the holodeck chick.
Well, this is the real life Leia Brahms.
She's the engineer. She drew the plans for the.
She designed the warp
Enterprise
drive
D.
for the Enterprise D.
Okay.
She designed the engines and all that for Enterprise D.
Oh, she designed the engines, but she didn't actually design the ship. Like,
no, the warp drive and the engines. Yeah.
Okay, she designed a third of it.
But she was on the committee that designed the ship. Yes.
Okay.
But so she's gone missing, and that's the launching event for this 5-part comic series, which leads into the video game that's now coming out.
Is it Geordi LaForge's going to go find?
No, it's a whole separate crew.
So is he just going to the holodeck and try to find her that way? What he would do if he was going to find her.
That's what he would do, yeah.
What I always want to know is that like Federation has this whole Prime Directive thing going on, which we've seen all the way through the show, which they've called it different things different times. But nobody else, like the Romulans and the Klingons, they don't have that, right? So they've just been taken over.
Well, because the Cardassians, the Romulans, and the Klingons, and all the rest of them are conquering type species.
Yeah, right.
They don't care.
And the Prime Directive we got from the Vulcans, because the Vulcans had their form of it before the Federation existed.
They waited until
General Order 1.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Keith, please. Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember what they called it before General Order 1, whatever the Vulcans called it.
Because we learned in Strange New Worlds that the Prime Directive is just a nickname, but it's always been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not just a nickname. They changed. It's officially the name later on. It is that's officially the name Prime Directive.
Right, and he's hoping it doesn't stick. Yeah, but it does. And then they talked about it in Enterprise, where Archer said maybe we will have a rule where we don't have to interfere with the
Enterprise they called it. Yeah, in Enterprise they called it the Vulcan Protocols. So it did actually have a name. So
now the reason why Enterprise is great because they do all the early shit in Enterprise, and
which I'm not mad at Enterprise for doing because it seems pretty spot on, and then they did a good job at making the technology look older than TOS. Which I thought
they did a great job at that, making it look older, making it look merging in between something we would do and they would do.
I have a strong disdain for any Trekkies or Trekkers that throw shade at Enterprise as a whole. I can understand the last episode, but like Enterprise as a whole, like from 1 to 4, like I was like, why? It's a shitty show. They didn't do nothing. And I'm like, you're the reason. I'm like, you're the reason why I got canceled. You're the reason why I got canceled.
No, it's. I mean, I will admit, my first time, but I did this with a few tracks because I've changed over the years as well. But my first time watching Enterprise, it was just kind of like, But for some reason, my second time, it was just like
different.
Great. And then my third and fourth time, I just like it more and more each time. But I will also say I was a person that didn't like DS9 first, and now
I mean, I've watched the whole show several times now, and the first and second seasons are okay. They have a couple clunker episodes and a couple episodes that really don't belong at all, like the Ferengi episode.
I still think 1 and 2 are good seasons, great seasons as well. They do have episodes that aren't good, but so does every single Star Trek out there.
I still highly dislike the 3rd season, and I think the 4th season is fantastic. And that's the way they were going. What the 5th season would have been, the 5th season would have been the best if they would have kept it going.
Especially if they would have kept it going, like they finally found their footing. So that's why I was real specific with it. It's just like I can understand certain episodes and I can understand the last episode, but what I can't get behind is when someone tries to bury all 4 seasons. Like why? Like, why? And it's just like, and my thing is this: for those people that try to bury all 4 seasons, not those of us that watched it a couple of times and gave it a chance, but those that bury all 4 seasons, they're mad at at the last episode. And so what I would tell them is that ain't no one's fault but your own. They said, why? I said, because
you canceled it.
You canceled it. And they needed something to do. We may not like how they did it, but they needed something to do. Right?
That was going to be the final episode of the season anyway. It just wouldn't have been the final episode of the series.
Right.
I thought they kind of threw it together. Actually.
I thought it was like a last minute thing. What happened, Keith?
I thought that was always. They made changes to it.
Yeah, I knew Jonathan Frakes didn't like it.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Frakes hated it, and he's like, "Why are we in here?"
Yeah, because it's like
I think it's crazy to be an actor when you don't like what you're doing, but you have to give it your all. Especially like things like when they kill you off a show or something like that, you got to still give 100%.
I mean, per contract, like
per contract, or they can sue you, or you just don't get hired by anybody. But you got to. It must be hard to give you 100% when you're not feeling it at all.
According to Rick Berman, this episode would have been the 4th season finale, even if the series had been picked up for a 5th season. He did state, however, that if the series had been renewed, Tucker would still have been killed off because the episode flashed forward in time. And so when the show came back for the new season, Tucker would still have been alive. In later interviews, Berman said that if the show had been renewed, several story elements, including Tucker's death, would likely have been changed.
So
killing off Tucker was just stupid.
Yeah, that was stupid. It's just like they're trying to do that thing where they end where someone has to go. I'm like, you don't really have to follow TNG. Well, I mean, they did with Tasha, but they didn't really do that like on All Good Things. Like
I would have liked to have seen where Tucker and T'Pol would have went. I liked how their dynamics grew over 4 years.
I wanted to see her. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they flashed ahead for that final episode, and they were apart, and there's no explanation of that.
We get to see them have a daughter one time, and that was it.
Well, there was a previous episode when T'Pol was with Archer when he had his memory loss.
Yeah, but that was more as caring for him, not with him.
True.
I loved Enterprise. That's all I gotta say. It was just good. It was good, and I hope that with the new Star Trek shows, before we wrap up, I hope that with the new Star Trek series, I think we're supposed to get like 3 more. I think
it's unknown how many more we're going to get, but
right. So I know that that there's an anthology series coming out. Is that
that's been hinted at? It's not certain. Tales of the Federation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and then there have been a lot of tweets from Jonathan Frakes and other cast members that have been hinting at that season 3 of Picard, while it's the end of the TNG Picard era, it's not the end of certain characters.
Yeah. It's now been intimated that this will wrap up any leftover threads from Next Gen, DS9, and Voyager. So it will all Berman Trek will pretty much.
If they put everyone together, I know.
Well, no, they don't have to put everyone together.
They don't have to. Because every book said he's not coming back. So
well, I know it's supposed to connect to DS9 some way. Picard 3.
Yes,
and I hope it's not an Easter egg because we have plenty of Deep Space Nine.
No, I think it'll be more in your face in the story. I think so,
and it will most likely would be referenced by Worf. And how
he served on there, and maybe we'll see hopefully we'll see. Well, the Defiant will probably be out.
That we'd see the Defiant, but we did see the Enterprise F. That's what we know for sure.
Yeah. If we see the Enterprise F, that means the Defiant is not the Defiant anymore. So,
well, it's been 20 years, so
right. So it's
outdated. It's outdated.
Yeah.
Worf has been more Star Trek shows than anybody. He's had more Star Trek screen time than anyone.
Yes.
If you think about it, if they're launching a new ship, because if you think, okay, so 2 seconds. So in all the things, in Encounter at Farpoint, we've learned that this is the first mission of the Galaxy class ship, and just a few weeks earlier, it was just launched. Like not even a few weeks earlier, like the previous day, because we saw a flashback in All Good Things where Picard was on the shuttle with Tasha. Okay.
Right.
So if that's the case, I would imagine that for the Enterprise F and a new captain, kind of like what they did with the Enterprise B, that there would be a whole party. Like a lot of people would show up for this event of the with all the fireworks and stuff that we saw in the trailer. Like maybe that's them launching the new ship and everyone is there.
That's a possibility, or that could be the launch of the Titan A that we saw in the trailer.
The Titan A. How did they go from a badass looking ship to something that looks like a giant hammer with a sphere at the end?
Every once in a while, it just doesn't work out right. Yeah. Sometimes even when I look at Enterprise D now, I'm like, this is actually a funny looking ship.
Well, it's really interesting to look at the Enterprise C. They only show it in yesterday's Enterprise, but the idea is they wanted to take details of the Excelsior and details of the Enterprise D and put something that was in between the two. And so you have the saucer, that's the same kind of design, but the star drive and the engines and the nacelles are more similar to what you see on the Excelsior.
I love the modernized version of the Enterprise. I'm the 107A or original.
Oh, the refit, yeah.
I love.
So we're talking about
refit is great. The refit is
Constitution.
They did a great job on that ship.
Yes,
that was beautiful. That was definitely a beautiful ship because, and I got to share something with you guys that really is random, and then we're gonna close out. So what I love the most about the Constitution class refit is the warp trail that is at the end of it. And so every time I see a new Enterprise or a new Enterprise on the JJJ films that we don't speak of, I hope to see that trail again. Unfortunately, it does not happen. It only happens one time and one shot and one scene, and that was in Discovery.
You need to play timelines because
I know. Well, yeah. I look forward to playing timelines. So the scene that it was when they were escaping the Charon or the Charon in the mirror universe, and they had just destroyed the star was the power source for this station, ship. Okay, so they blow the star up, and then just before they go into warp, you see this elongated trail, and I'm just like, yeah, that was it, and I was happy. That's it.
Okay. Well, we have 3 episodes of Prodigy left. Next week's episode is called Mind Walk, and then we'll have the 2-part season finale, Supernova Part 1 and Part 2, over the following 2 weeks. We have no announcement of what's coming up next week until Picard Season 3 in February. So whether we have anything in between then, it looks like no. So we might have no new episodes of Star Trek in January.
So we have a break. Okay.
Yeah.
And we have a break, but we'll be doing
shows every Thursday. Right.
We'll be doing parallel. No, we'll still be doing. I don't know what shows we'll be doing every Thursday.
Well, we'll do reviews of something else.
Well, December 19th, we are doing Star Trek Parallels, comparing the Naked Now with the Naked Time. Naked Now TNG, Naked Time TOS.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, as of right now, starting early February, we get Picard Season 3, which runs for 10 weeks. Then we expect that it will then go into Strange New World Season 2, followed by Discovery Season 5, which just wrapped filming last week. And then from there, most likely to Lower Decks Season 4.
All right.
And that will carry us through next summer.
This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. I am blessed to be here with you guys, living in this track renaissance that Marie would call it, where there's literally a new show every week, probably for the next 7 to 10 years. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love my life.
It is the hope that, they said they want Star Trek year round, and we had it last year into this year until we hit the break when Strange New Worlds ended. But we're gonna have January off, but it's Trek all the time, and it is.
All right. All right. So before we wrap, what would you give this, Keith? We're
gonna do ratings there.
We got to.
No, we don't. All right, out of 5 or out of 10?
Out of 10.
Let's go out of 10 this time, because 5
out of 10. I'll give it a 2.
Oh wow. I was gonna say 4.
That's shitty, dude.
But
I know.
But
hey,
Is that your lowest?
Hey,
Is that the lowest rating? Lowest rating of the show?
that's the lowest I've ever heard. That's the lowest I've ever heard on this show.
I did not enjoy this episode as much as I thought I would.
Not even the last
well,
3 minutes.
Well, you always think you're going to enjoy it, so it's
Well,
yeah, because it's Star Trek. Right?
it's Star Trek. But yeah, I have to agree with Keith over there. Yeah, I wouldn't say 2. I'd say maybe a 4, because there's still Star Trek stuff happening in the background. Like even when it went black and white, I was like, "Are we going to see some Brighter Chaotica or some shit for some reason?"
Or Dixie, or some Dixie,
or some Dixon Hill.
Dixon Hill.
Wait, did we do any Easter eggs?
There
was no. Go ahead.
There was nothing really. I mean, you have the many Nooms. You had the reference to it's basically shipping the model from Next Generation back again. The only other thing I found, in case you wanted to know, the song performed by Mr. Murphy No Shoes was "Smile and Forget It," written and performed by Troy Klein and acquired through Song Trader, a platform whose content is licensed for use in film and television.
Okay.
Well,
and that's one reason for a low rating, because one of the reasons why we as Trekkers and adults like this show is seeing these Easter eggs and seeing like, hey, we see that you writers actually know what Star Trek is, and we really appreciate you incorporating these things from all these different shows into the show that we're watching, that new people won't see, or the kids don't see, but that will keep us coming back watching the show, because we know we're going to see something that we're familiar with and that we know. The fact that we didn't get hardly any of that this episode makes it, that's what probably really ranks it very low on this scale, that you didn't write based off of actually anything except for the whole trope of holodeck failure and holodeck and safety protocols going off. That's it.
If you would have told me this episode was only 15 minutes long, I'd believe you. It felt that light. It felt. I feel like I've been cheated out of a few minutes of Trek. That there should be more. Like maybe there is a post-credit scene that I missed. I don't know. I feel like we were missing just a button on the end on the Dauntless or something.
That's what I was saying. Is just like that was it. Like it just cuts off where we're on the Dauntless is on the screen. Like that's it. Like it felt this was the equivalent of Batman versus Superman to me.
Oh no, I wouldn't go that bad.
First of all, I like Batman vs Superman a lot.
Well, okay, we may like what happened. The only 2 good parts that I never slept in a movie theater in my life, and that was the only time that I did. Like Wonder Woman was good as her character, the sub character, and I like the last 15 minutes when all hell was breaking loose. And
I like B vs Superman, but.
Production wise, this episode was good. The writing itself was of the storyline itself, it was good, but the fact where it moves us forward, that's where I feel shortchanged. The fact that Zero figured it out so quickly was fantastic. The fact that Rock Talk figured out such details so quickly, that she noticed the piano was missing a key, that
she's smart.
Yeah, but it wasn't missing a key. It had a broken key. I had a problem with that. It wasn't because they were looking for a key. He said missing a key, but it was a broken key.
I felt I'd have to give this, like, I'm always the optimistic rater, but it's still not good to me. So I would give it a 5 out of 10, which is still an F in my book. Not average. To me, average is like 7 and above, 7 to 8. But like, so I give it a 5 because at first, I thought this episode was going to be interesting because it was taking the route of an escape room. And so I thought that's what was going to happen. You know, oh, we got to find the key. We got to do this. We got to do that. You won't find out what it is till midnight. I'm thinking, oh, this is a big, elaborate escape room. And since this is a kid's show, this works out perfectly. They didn't even finish it. I mean, it was smart. It was smart on Zero's part to not finish the game. I mean, that's brilliant. But it just, and I'm just like,
yeah,
you couldn't have transitioned that in a more brilliant way. Like I thought we were gonna go somewhere with this, and it's basically he took it out of Tuvok's book. The logical course of action is to do nothing at all.
Yeah. Take you back to Twisted. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, right. And I'm like, that's it. So yeah, this is my first time giving a Trek episode a low grade. There are others that I consider a low grade, but as far as me verbally speaking it on the show, a 5 is like an F to me. So it's just like, you know.
I mean, I could be talked into maybe 3.5, but I'm willing to give this a harsh 2 because I was disappointed in this episode.
Yeah, it just wasn't. The surrounding elements were good, but the transitioning was not there for me. And I guess I had my hopes up for something that wasn't, and I hate it when I do that. So it just didn't work.
Well, we hope the writers are listening. And actually, we do hope.
Great title. The title was perfect for the
episode.
Oh yeah. Because it felt like every time I go out to a club and a guy ghosts me and my feelings are hurt, that's how I feel about this episode. I feel ghosted. Get it?
I get it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Are you the? What's the machine?
Oh
yeah,
okay.
Those are my 5.
Oh.
Thank you for watching this week's episode.
Oh.
Make sure to like, comment, and share. Tell us what you think. And we'll
like, comment, share, subscribe. Water cooler talk. All that type of stuff.
If you'd like to join us, we'd welcome to have other people's thoughts on these things. So
please do, because it's just like we're just like this like nice little secluded family on YouTube where we occasionally get a writer from Paramount that says we love you guys, you know. So we can say that now. Okay, like anyway, y'all live long and prosper. Great episode. Bye.
Oh.
Do that again.
My
there
lighting.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say it on the internet. Yeah, never. Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Wait. There was a shadow of a church.
Okay. What?
William has questionable ideas about what he puts. William has questionable ideas about what he puts on the internet.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Uh-huh.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Wait. What? Wait.